So if you guys don't know, I've been going to therapy for like the last year or so, just trying to figure out more of who I am and how to be better as a person. I know that I struggle in some places. Even today, I still struggle in some of those same places, but I'm getting better every single day. And one thing we discussed in my therapy session was how I have a tendency to, have really high expectations for things, like relationships and other people, and then I get hurt tremendously when they don't work out. So currently, as you guys know, I've been dating a bit, and I've had a hard time when I meet someone that I really like that isn't reciprocating as quickly or as much as I want them to. I'm kind of used to that fast turn relationship kind of thing, where you meet the girl in 1 week, and then next week you go on a date, next week you go on another date, and then before you know it, you love each other. And it's just this whole whirlwind, up and down roller coaster relationship, which ultimately ends in flames, which has been the literal thing that's happened every single time. And I'm trying to not duplicate that. I'm trying to realign my expectations. And so it made me wonder, I've done videos previously on MGTOW, which has been going the wrong way, and incels and whatnot. And I've questioned, what if I went MGTOW? Because I do think that I have a small bit of an issue where I place a lot of my value and my validation in the hands of the opposite sex, i.e. the people that I want to want me, i.e. the people that I want to find me attractive. I don't feel attractive until a woman tells me I'm attractive, or at least I used to say that for a long time. I recently kind of hit a weird bump in life where I had to actualize who I was and where I was in life. I had to do that. And I have to own that I no longer fully place all of my validation in women. I actually look in the mirror now and I see it sometimes, and I feel it sometimes, and it's most of the time, it's 95% of the time now that I know what power I have. I know that if I decide to talk to somebody, or I know that if I go out and I want two girls to come talk to me and my friends, I can say, hey, come over here. And they'll come over, and they're not afraid because I come across as an attractive, appealing person. I feel safe, I feel friendly. I know how to do that stuff, right? And I've been working on not even doing that stuff as much, because I know that in relationships, that can be a hindrance. That can be a thing that makes other people jealous and create issues that I don't want to repeat ever again. And even if I think I'm being innocent, there is no innocence when there is a decadence, if you know what I mean. So I'm just wondering, though, could MGTOW help me? Now, if you don't know what MGTOW is, it is men going the wrong way. It is men who've chosen to forego letting women control their destinies, forego letting women control the very being that is them. Some of these guys are taking the red pill. Some of these guys might be considered incels to some degree, but I think that they're almost stronger than incels because they don't tend to hate women. I think incels tend to have this kind of a tinge where they don't like women, and they tend to revile them and treat them as these creatures that they don't deserve their time and they're pushing away. Whereas with MGTOW, I do feel like these are men just deciding that they can find their own happiness without the need of women, without the need of someone else telling them what they are, who they are, what they're worth. It's a sense of really being confident in your own abilities. And in some ways, some of them will use women for things like sex because that's what they want. They want to also have sex with women, but they don't actually mean anything to them, which is a part where I get detached because I am an emotional feeling person. I am a person that feels emotions. I'm a person that, I just do. I'm a feeler. I don't even know how to explain it any better. I feel things all the time, I'm not talking about just feeling, I mean feel, I really do. And so I don't see a world where I can callously either date or sleep with a woman without feeling anything for them. I've definitely done that where I've been able to sleep with someone and not feel anything, but at the end of the day, I still think things. I still come out of it oh, that didn't feel right. I'm still feeling something. I'm oh, I can't do that anymore because that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what's in there for me, because I think that ultimately for me to be happy, I have to have some kind of connection with the person. I have to have some kind of either mental or physical or emotional connection for it to truly feel good and for it to truly work. And so I wonder, could MGTOW help me? Could MGTOW help me detach myself from my emotions? Could MGTOW help me, be less of a feeler? Because I think sometimes it's to my detriment. But at the same time, I like being a feeler, and that's where I'm kind of stuck. What should I be? Or should it even matter? Should I just sit here and be myself and navigate life that way, knowing that by being myself, I'm lining myself up to get hurt? Because I think that every day that I put myself out on the line, every day that I attempt something crazy, every day that I take a girl on a date, and I put a lot of effort in, there's a chance she's going to turn around the next day and go, well, you're sweet and everything, and you're great, but I'm just not feeling it, which I've heard before. And it hurt because it's I was giving my best. If my best isn't good enough, what else do I have to offer? And at the end of the day, I have to look at that and go, well, maybe that's just not the woman for you. That's not the person for you. That's not a person that deserves your time, or they deserve your time, but it's not the person that you want to give your time to. Better way to put it. I ultimately don't want to ever be that person that is cold and unfeeling. I often call this, and I'm going to do a video on this soon, but I often call this dating with stormtrooper armor. Because if you ever watch Star Wars, stormtrooper armor is worthless. I don't know why they wear it. They may as well just go around wearing nothing. Because literally, they die when they get touched by any kind of laser. And I'm like, these lasers have been around for a long time. Like even in The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, stormtrooper armor still does the same exact thing. And I'm like, there's been a lot of years. I think they would improve it. They probably noticed like, hey, all our stormtrooper people keep dying every time anything touches them. Maybe we should upgrade the armor so that doesn't happen. Maybe that'd be a thing. I don't know. And there are resources that exist for those exact purposes, because I've seen other people wearing armor in Star Wars that don't die when the first thing hits them. Now, when I say that to relate it to dating, it's like if the first girl that hurts me, hits me with their laser beam of rejection, I get torn asunder immediately. It ruins my life for roughly a week. It just does. And I need to get in there with tougher armor than what the stormtroopers have. I need to get in there knowing and sometimes anticipating that it's going to fail. And I know that sounds pessimistic, I know that sounds really sad, but I think that MGTOW could help me get there. I think MGTOW could help me get to a point where any kind of rejection, any kind of pain doesn't penetrate my armor, because I'm taking care of myself first. Now, I do wonder this. I'm gonna ask people out there who may be MGTOW, are any of you guys MGTOW for life, or are you MGTOW temporarily? Are you planning on going back to a world where you date? Are you planning on going back to a world where you do seek women's validation? Because I do think that as humans, we do seek validation inherently. We don't try to. I think it just happens sometimes. Like, you want that person to think you're cool. You want that person to think you're sexy. You want that person to think you're smart. You want that person to think something positive about you, and you want to ward away all the negative emotions. Like, could men going their own way be a path toward enlightenment, and then you can take that enlightenment and then date with that enlightenment? Could that be a thing? Could MGTOW help me? Could MGTOW help me find the better Chris? Could it help me find the stronger Chris? Or am I destined to walk this path of risk but high reward? Risk but high reward. I'm going out there, I'm trying, I'm doing stuff, and let's say hypothetically that I met somebody I really like and it's going really well, and we're both like, yo, let's take it slow. Let's just say hypothetically that happens. Do I still need the teachings of MGTOW to survive? Or do I just continue to go my own way without any kind of tutelage? Do I go my way of this woman might be the one for me? Do I go this way of this woman makes me happy when I hang out with her? Do I go this way of trying to figure out truly what makes me happy outside of any kind of institution or any kind of thought pattern? I often reject the red pill theories because they're too negative for me. I don't like negativity. I like positivity. I like believing the idea that we can all do something good in the world. I like believing the idea that there is positivity. I like believing the idea that people aren't evil. But sometimes people prove me wrong. There are evil people in the world. There are people that will do wrong things, and they will hurt you, and they will not care. I told you guys this story before, but I'll give you a short end of it if you're brand new. There was a girl who I dated for about, let's say, 5 dates. And we were supposed to hang out on the 5th date. And she goes, I'll get back to you next week for sure. And what did she do? Never got back to me. And when I reached out, I found out she blocked me. And yet she had this mantra that she lived by of be kind. Don't be nice, be kind. And the kind thing may be having to say the hard thing of I don't like you, or I'm not sure what to do with you, or I'm not really into it, I'm not feeling it. That might be the kind thing to say, but it's certainly not nice. The nice thing is to say, I really like you, and then just kind of fade away. And she chose the other path, even though professing to be a person of kindness, and that hurt. Because I'm like, am I that bad that you can't even talk to me? Am I that bad that you can't have a conversation with me? When I've chosen to be a person that is very patient, and I've chosen to be a person that is very, very, very open and easy to talk to. Instead, you just go running as if I'm some monster. And then it makes me question my entire self all over again. And I wind up in a pool of waiting and self-doubt and asking, like, is it because I'm ugly? Is it because like, I'm not good enough? And I have to immediately be reminded, not only by myself, but by other people, that if I was ugly, I wouldn't went on that date in the first place. If I wasn't self-worthy enough, I wouldn't have felt good enough to even ask her out. If I wasn't great, we wouldn't have went on 5 dates. It wouldn't have been such a hard decision to make. It would have been easy, right? So there's always proof in the pudding. But really, I just want to know, am I seeking the wrong thing? Am I going down the wrong path? Could MGTOW literally change my life? Should I go the way of the man going his own way? I would love your thoughts and your opinions. I've made videos about this topic before, but I'm really curious what you guys think. It's been Chris. Yeah, and I'm just thinking about things. Feel free to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. I don't care. I'm like off the YouTube hamster wheel now. I'm making videos when I want to make them and how I want to make them. And ultimately, I just wanted to have a discussion, so let's talk. Albert, you teleport. I'm not even going to do that. Screw it. Freedom!